You're right.
I'm Amber.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Priscilla.
This week we're going to talk about a president's perspective.
We'll also be answering some of the questions that you've submitted and sharing more mom pro tips.
Don't forget to follow us on social media, facebook.com/classytillkickoff.
Yep.
So I think a lot of people have no idea what we do as presidents. I know in my district I get tons of questions all the time, even just emails to the, to the board. Who does this? Who does that? Who's in charge of this? And kind of what our job is. So I think it's good if we kind of talk about that, maybe go over the hectic life, maybe tell everyone how hard it is. They'll feel bad for us and be nicer maybe.
Yes. Well, and I'll defer to you two because I don't have a lot of experience. We had a fill-in position last year, but this is pretty much my first year of all in.
Thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
Baptism by fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm ready for it.
You seem ready.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ready.
I feel like you have what it takes, for sure.
How long have you been president?
I'm going into my third year.
Okay.
You are too,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yep. Me too. But did you have a good president before you that kind of...
I did.
See, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest thing. It's so hard because when you're thrown into something and you have no idea what, you know what I mean? Like you have no idea. I have had no idea what I was doing. Every year I've learned something.
Right.
Like I just this year learned that we can put better decals on our helmets. Did you guys know that? You can do whatever decal you want.
I did not know that.
Oh,
I
Did you?
know only
did not know
because
that.
I have an amazing board that
that's true. You have all 17
has been
people.
in it. So
Yeah, I had no idea. I learned that this year.
So you can put whatever decal you want.
Yes.
Wow.
I know.
I didn't know
I
that.
know. It's one of the many jobs that we do. What does your garage look like?
Oh my gosh. So I have a 3-car garage and I have boxes and boxes of helmets, shoulder pads, equipment that was returned after
late.
the deadline.
Oh, so funny.
My garage is a mess. Ask me how many cars are in my 3-car garage.
Oh, it's so bad.
One.
Yeah,
The rest is all football.
it is.
Right?
My husband will be like, "Are you going to take this stuff to the closet?" And I'll be like, "Meh, what's the point?"
Right.
Like it just builds up anyway.
Right.
I actually went and bought some of those Costco black containers with the yellow lids. You know what I'm talking about?
we have those in our sheds.
I went and bought a couple of those just for the stuff that's at my house. Just for the leftover equipment, truly. And then you add in new equipment. Like I started to get helmets delivered. I had like 36 boxes that were literally like 3 feet by 3 feet.
They're
So we have a detached 4-car garage. It was full.
No way.
Full of helmets.
Oh my
Like I don't
heck.
think people have any idea.
Dang.
I don't
Right?
know how I lucked out because somehow the helmets show up at Nate's house.
Oh, geez.
Shoulder pads are going to Ryan's house.
Is
And
that
I just-
bugging your control?
I wouldn't be able to do that.
I can't either.
It
I
has
think
to go.
it's funny how
Yeah.
we all we run our districts in different
Right.
ways. And
Yeah.
you're okay with that because you want to
Yeah.
spread, right?
Well, and I think that's one thing, just how you keep people engaged is by giving them things to
true.
like own. So like Nate's like, helmets are here. These are how many we need to order next year. Like I can just call Nate and he will just
That's so nice.
know everything
actually.
about all of it. So then I don't have to know it. Like I can just say, Nate knows that. Ryan handles that. Derek, what's happening with our fields? Like I don't even talk to the person that paints the field.
Really.
I don't even know
Yeah.
it gets done.
Maybe
but
we talk. So, which one's your district? How many people are on your board? And then how many teams do you, on average, have?
So I'm a Harriman district, and I think we're in maybe the top 5 highest growth with just this last year, and we're continuing to grow.
How many kids did you have?
I think did we have 265 last year? I feel like it should have been more, but I know that a couple places had like 400 plus. I was kind of looking at the list. But, and then I have 17 people on my main board, and then I have 5 people with me on my executive board, just to kind of keep, not the nonsense stuff, like, these are the decisions that just need to be made right now, like
Stuff you guys can vote on and...
right, and
Yeah.
just move through quickly, like a quick text, or we don't need to hold.
There's no debate.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm board meeting them to death. Like I need to hold a board meeting.
No, that's good though.
But yeah, so it's been fun, and they are great people to be with. Like I can't wait to get back on the field because I love hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Right.
And even my daughter, we joke a lot because her dad had recently passed away, and we had always said, you know, oh, you have 12 aunts or whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, look, honey, you just gained like 10 dads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously,
So
it
they're
is.
just, you know, right involved with your family too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody knows. So anyway, that's me.
So I'm from Brighton, and I think I have 8, which I maybe need to write their names down and count. But I feel like these people have stuck with me, like, from when I knew nothing. Like, it started out when I got thrown into being president, because does anyone actually volunteer? Like, you get thrown in. That's what happens.
Voluntold.
Yeah, that's what happens. So when that happened to me, I was like, okay, I need to find a secretary, and I need to find a treasurer. And if I can have those 2 people, I feel like I can figure the rest out as we go. And so she was a scout mom, and she was struggling with communication and all this stuff. And so I was like, hey, you know, I could really use someone to come help me with communication. And so that's kind of how I roped her into it. And then she's awesome. She's literally the yin to my yang. She does, like, I send her emails that Jeff sends that are novels to read through them and send me bullet points on what I need to focus on, because she's just that good. She's just that good. She does all of our rosters, everything. And then I remember it was hard for me to ask for help, you know, like we talked about last time.
Right.
And she was like, you need to go ask so-and-so if she'll come help you. What do you want her to do? Like, she was the one that was like, go ask her. And then, of course, it was actually, I'd invited her daughter to my daughter's birthday party. And she's like, tell her you'll help her, right? And she's like, yeah, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, you're treasurer.
Because people want to do things. They
Yes,
want to be part
they wanna help.
of things.
Right.
And now it's like we hang out on Saturdays after games. We're all doing barbecues. Like, we had a Super Bowl party. It's a family. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, now I'm having a hard time wondering, when do I ever stop? You know, my husband's like, are you going to be done doing this ever?
Right.
But it brings me so much purpose in my life personally, and like the relationships that I've built. I'm not ready to let that go just based on that.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I think these are friendships that I'll have for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I see a lot of people who either have kids and want to be involved and stay on the board, or like in your situation, your child's out, but you are still so tied to it. And I see the benefit of not having a child in it because you have no bias.
I'm so excited for this year.
Yeah.
I really am.
There's no stress.
Yes,
right?
I can go watch whatever game I want. I
That's
can
so
go,
cool.
you know, I hang out there, but it's just nice to not have any skin in the game.
Right.
People know, like, if my son's playing, don't come talk to me. Don't come ask me. Like, I literally will because you can't recognize me typically if I don't have my tattoos showing. So I'll go hide, like, literally with a hoodie to just go on my fit. Like, my secretary, like, they know that at that time, they don't bug me about anything. If they need to make an executive decision, they can make an executive decision.
Your president hat is off.
Yes.
Your mom hat is on.
Yes.
Do not bother me.
So with that being said, I am stoked to not have that this year.
Gosh, that is so cool.
It will be really different and really nice.
How many registrations did you have last year?
I'll get it wrong, but 200 and something.
Jeez. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, we're growing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we started out my first year as president with 140 kids. And then we've just gradually, like, we were barely able to fill all 6 teams. And then last year I had 14. So
Nice.
yeah. Yep. I had 3 gridiron teams.
Wow.
I know.
And that's usually not the
I know.
team that you have more, so that
Yeah.
says a lot to like
Crazy.
the work you're doing.
Yeah, it's been good.
Awesome.
But it's all part of, like, I think building that culture and that welcoming, you know what I mean? Like, I want everyone to feel like they're part of our family. Like,
Yeah.
come to my field, you're part of my family.
Right.
Like, let's hang out, let's talk. Like, everyone can get along. Like, yeah, we're going to be competitive. But when the game's over, like, I'm going to come give you a hug and we can talk, you know?
Yeah.
I love it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm president of the Granger District. I've been on the board for 8 years, and this will be my 3rd year going in as president. I have 3 other ladies, so it's all female run, but one, well, I don't even have the luxury of having an executive and we're just the female board. And it's so funny because we find ourselves when they see all 4 of us walking across the field during practice, coaches like turn, they're whispering.
Everyone's like, oh
"What do they
no."
want? What is it? Look busy. Who's doing something wrong? Put on your helmet. You know, it's
It's
so
so funny.
empowering,
I love
right?
it.
Because not only are we thriving women, but we're women who work in a predominantly like male-run business. And so a lot of times when people come up and demand to talk to the supervisor or something, and they're
so
like,
funny.
yeah, she's the president. Where's your husband?
Yeah, excuse me?
What? That's why I wore my hoops.
That's so funny.
But it's so important. Like, I think to what Amber said, I want to love what I do. And if I love it, then I don't need to get paid for doing it. Like, this is my family. And you hit, when you said that, that struck a chord with me, because I tell my board all the time, once this stops getting fun for you, I don't want you to do it no more.
Yeah.
Once it's not fun for me, I'm not going to do it either. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it like the work to a minimum. Still try to do as much as we can. Try not to overwhelm everyone's like already full plate with work and other kids and all the things we're already doing, and then throwing football in there. Like, this should be our hobby. This should be the one thing that we're like, I'm excited to go to the field.
Yes.
I'm excited to help someone. I'm excited to listen to the stories. I'm excited to, you know, just be part of the community and build something bigger than us.
Totally. And I think that, I mean, I don't know, like for me, when I first started out in football, because this is my 8th year too, I was on the board. Yeah, I know, right?
And we started as presidents during COVID year.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's trash.
Wild.
It is trash. It is. No, my son, so he started when he was 7. Super skinny, tiny little guy, right? And the scout team that year had 26 kids on it. It was terrible. Terrible. And I was struggling a lot, and I'm an introvert by nature.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm not talking to anyone because I'm not only uncomfortable, but it's not my element.
Right.
So I remember sitting there for the first time at a football game and watching my son, and he was not getting any playing time at all. He maybe got, let's say, 3 plays at best, right? And looking back, there's a lot of, 26 kids on a scout team is ridiculous. It's hard, right?
Yeah.
However, the president at that time was so awesome. Like, I remember going up to her, and I'm not an outspoken, like, I'm either quiet and reserved or I'm throwing hands. Like, I'm not a middle person at all. Like, I'm just not. And so I already felt so vulnerable having to go talk to her because I was at a loss. I had no mom friends yet, right? I was that parent. I just didn't know anyone.
Yep.
But I knew that I didn't want to continue playing football if that's what it was. And so I went up to her and I just started spewing words and literally start bawling, okay? Because I'm like, my son, he didn't get to play, and he's following the coach around, and he's tiny. And she puts her arm around me, and it like literally makes me want to cry because you don't realize the power you have. But she then told me, she's like, I have an autistic son who was in your same boat. And she's like, that's why I'm president. And now look, that's what happens. And she's like, your son will play his 10 plays. And she explained all the rules to me. She introduced me to a bunch of people, so then I had friends, and made me feel like I mattered. And also made me feel like I could understand football. Like, I didn't know that kids got 10 plays. I didn't even know what that was. I knew that I was pissed that my kid didn't get to play at all, but I didn't know there was any sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think back to like her position and how she treated me, and that changed my life. So I hope that I can do that.
That's amazing.
Right?
You're like straight goosebumps, dude.
It's crazy. She was awesome. We went through a president after her too, but she was like, I don't know that I would have continued through football without her.
Wow. And it's moments like highlights like that of your whole career helping in football that it's things like that that help me remind myself when I am up at 3 a.m. sorting jerseys or answering emails or answering calls while I'm at work of a concerned parent, to be reminded of,
Totally.
girl, I've been there, right? Like,
Yes.
I was a rookie mom. I didn't know anything. I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to get my kid involved. I didn't know how I could help. I didn't know how anything ran. So I love that you share that, because it's those highlights that remind me and help me stay grounded.
Totally.
Like, I'm never on a pedestal. No one's better than me. I'm here to answer. No question's a dumb question. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yes, I think that's what has given me purpose and made me want to stay president. Because then I see these parents that are struggling, or these moms that haven't found their tribe yet, and I want to go find, because now I have such a family there.
Yeah.
Like, die when football season ends. Like, I'm so depressed afterwards. Like, yes, it's not crazy, and it's nice to be able to just chill, right? To have dinner at a normal hour.
Yes.
But I go straight into depression.
Oh, me too.
Like, I miss my friends. My kids miss their like the other kids. Like, my daughter will be like, "Are we going to the football field?" And I'm like, "It's over."
Like, go sit in the parking lot.
Yeah, seriously. It's so funny because it's so true. Like, there's endless hours of work.
Yeah.
Endless hours. Like, just so you know, there's endless hours.
It's not slowing down.
But, and like you bring up jerseys. Is there a worse job than jerseys?
Oh my gosh, man.
Oh, but I love it.
Oh, no, you
I
don't.
will have it.
Do you love it?
I did it last year,
Oh,
and I'm
it's the
like,
worst.
do I have to give this up if I'm president? And they said,
No,
you're the
you
president.
pick
You
and
can do
choose
whatever you want.
Okay, so I'm interested to know, how do you guys assign numbers? Do you just assign sizes? Do you take numbers from the previous year and give players their number that they requested? How do you guys do that?
I use it as a fundraiser. So if parents want to request a specific number, it's $25. And then my secretary, who we've already talked about,
Is amazing.
Amazing. She puts a sheet together that has all my numbers and what sizes I have in that jersey available.
Okay.
And she literally has it on her computer and she updates it for every equipment drop off. So they have to pick 3 choices. So if they're a youth medium, they can look at their number and it will tell them if they have that size. So they give me 3 choices, $25, then I give them one of their choices.
Wow.
And very rarely can I not fulfill at least one of 3. It does happen, but then I just give them like spirit gear, you know, whatever. But so I use it as a fundraiser.
That's dope. Do you guys have a process in place?
So we let them, when they pick up their equipment, we give them a sheet and they can pick their three numbers that they want, which is the cutest thing I've ever witnessed in my entire life.
It's not cute.
It honestly is, because these little kids that are like 7 want to be
99.
You know, they want to be Tom Brady.
80
they
pounds.
want to be.
And they want 6. What I think's funny
5.
is I'm going online. Like, if all of a sudden I see 100 kids that want to be, 21.
Right.
I'm online. Who's number
The
2?
popular number, yeah.
Like, I remember when, what's his name? Deshaun Watson, like, was really good. Like, that first year and all, I think he's 8 or something. I think he's number 8. All of a sudden, every kid wanted to be. I'm like, that's a weird, because there's like 13. You know, I feel like there's certain numbers, and I
That are
don't know,
always
maybe.
popular.
But I feel like there are, right?
No, you're right.
But then when you'd start getting those weird ones, I'd be like, who is this?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to
Who's
be
trending?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's
And
trending?
some of them are just like, oh, this is my favorite number.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was my brother's number.
Yes.
This is, you know, so. And last year, not really knowing how to make it work, I just had my spreadsheet and my clipboard, and it just worked out so well, which a lot of folks would say, let me know how I can help you. And I'm like, this is a one-man show, because if you give out number 3 and it doesn't get handled on my sheet, we are a sunken ship. So like me and my daughter, I just sit over and my back was wrecked. I was just in this position for hours on a time. But the one thing I will give credit to are those kids. I did have to say, like, I am really sorry. Like, you know, we're doing this. I can't give you that number. And they would just rise to the occasion and we'd make it work.
Yeah, for the most part, I think.
Yeah, but we try to.
But I think people underestimate how much work that is.
It's a lot. Because
Like-
then all of a sudden, you've got 4 players that only want 21 and they're all on the same
Same team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
crazy.
And what I do, I literally would get all the jerseys and I dump them out in my garage.
Yep.
And then we take our stack of request numbers first. So they get first choice. Then we number them when they turn them in. So we know, like, okay, that person, whatever. And then I would get masking tape and I would write. So like my secretary, she'd be like, hey, youth medium 21. Be like, okay. And she'd be like, okay, that's last name. And then we'd write it, put it on masking tape, stick it, put it in a pile.
Yep.
I'm going to use masking tape this year. I used Post-it notes last year.
Oh,
That was
they
kind
came
of a hot
off?
mess.
Shoot, yeah.
Then I had like 6 Post-it notes in the bottom of my tote.
Oh, shoot. You're like, whose was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do?
I've tried a couple of things. The first year we were on the board, we didn't have a system.
Yeah.
We just assigned
Yeah. You
numbers.
got to make up your own.
And then the next year we had them write down their first and second preference, but that was a mess and it was taking an already long process even more longer.
Right.
So then I said, whoever goes to championships,
Oh, that's cool.
like write down your number. And then that's also an initiative. I have a hard time getting kids to come back to Granger. So that's another,
Yeah,
like,
there
hey,
you go.
come back and you get your number.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool, though.
yeah.
And when you do your last names, how do you sort them?
What do you mean?
Like how she was saying she uses Post-its and I use
Oh, yeah, we just write it directly on the bag.
Oh, you
but
do?
I like what you're saying.
Yeah, some good painter's tape.
Yeah, because then you can rip it off if there is a duplicate or something doesn't
Yeah,
right.
because
That's
that does
brilliant.
happen.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden
Oh,
you get to
totally.
the end and it's like, okay, so-and-so wants this. Well, I can switch this size and,
Right.
oh.
And I think that's such a good move into our viewer questions because that's the biggest thing. How do you decide on your numbers? How did we end up with number 8 when we didn't even pick 8? Well, there were
Yeah, it's all I had left and he was small.
yeah, that's basically
Sorry about
the
it.
story.
I mean, it really is.
No, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
For me, it is.
Yeah.
Like I end up, so my first year of being president, I was about, I want to say 50 jerseys short-ish. So we ended up having to try and find someone locally that could make them. I mean, it was the biggest joke I've ever dealt with in my life. The only thing that was good is then I could just get them whatever number they wanted. Why is it beeping at me?
Is that a wrap?
Done?
Timer.
That's-
No, that's fine.
A wrap.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
We want to know.
How many jerseys was I short? 50? Was it 50? Okay. 50 jerseys short. So I'm having to find a local company. So BSN ends up finding someone in Atlanta that has the right orange, because it's not like I have a normal color, right?
Right.
That has orange for me that kind of resembles the jerseys we had. Then they won't actually put even the numbers on them. So I had to like find someone. It was seriously the biggest joke I've ever dealt with. So then ever since then, I'm like making sure I have enough because you don't want to go over
Yeah.
too much, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully this year, you know, it feels like it's going to be a better system.
Right.
Yeah, it feels
But-
good this year.
Hopefully.
Yeah. $5,000 and endless hours of pain. It was so expensive. Stupid.
God.
And they were terrible quality.
Oh, no.
I know. I felt so bad.
In
It
your
was like,
first year.
Yeah.
A COVID year.
of course. We just didn't realize we were going to grow like we did.
Yeah.
Like I knew we had momentum.
Which is
and
a good problem to have.
Totally.
But-
Yes, 100%. And like Vicky was awesome to help. Like everyone was
Yeah.
supportive. Like it's a good problem, right?
My mom pro tip would be to just bring a cooler, keep it in your car of just all the drinks, the Gatorades, the waters, freeze the waters the night before.
good one.
Especially during tryouts, especially these the first month of August, whether you're going to practices, whether you're going to the games, because everybody needs water and everybody's little jug tips over and now they have no water. So just keep that cooler just in your wagon.
Love that.
That's all we have for you this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on Classy Till Kickoff.